What's up guys, welcome to Rep Studios cooking channel. You may remember me from the beef burger video we did a few months ago, but today I'm going to make you a beef short rib ragu with homemade pasta. So stick around, this is going to be a delicious recipe. It's going to be very easy to make, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and ring that bell to get all the notifications when you need them. Alright? So let's do it! So real quick, we're gonna go through our ingredients for today. We got this beautiful beef short rib. What I'm looking for when I'm picking short rib is inner muscular fat, all right? So it's all the marbling you got here. It's gorgeous, beautiful. Then I got celery, carrots, onion, 3 cloves of garlic. I got my aromatics, so that's thyme, rosemary, and bay leaf. I got my red wine. So when it comes to wine, a lot of people ask, what kind of wine should I use for cooking? The answer is very simple. If you wouldn't drink it, don't use it in your food. You don't need to get a really fancy wine for your cooking, but if you wouldn't drink it, don't use it in your food. Next, I got vegetable stock. So this is store-bought stock out of a packet. When it's store-bought, I don't like to use meat, all right? No chicken, not beef. I prefer vegetable stock. And then I got my plum tomatoes. Out of a can. I wish I could get fresh, but the place we're in doesn't really grow tomatoes. And I got basils for garnish at the end. Next, we're gonna start to prepare the meat. So over here, I've got 1 rib that came separate, and I've got a stack of 3 ribs, okay? So basically, we need to separate these as well. The way I do it is I turn the meat upside down so I can see where the bones are, and I just kind of follow the bones and go right through. Make sure you've got a nice and sharp knife, okay? Because cutting meat with a knife that's not sharp is gonna be pretty dangerous for you. Okay, so there we go. We've got the meat nicely chopped, and we got to repeat the same process with the second piece. All right, so we're going to repeat the same process now. Again, just follow the bone and really let the knife do the work. You just go all the way down. This is a pretty fatty meat, so it's a bit harder to cut. There we go. Let's take a look at that marbling. This side looks better. Beautiful. That's all flavor right there. That's what we want. Okay, so next we're going to season this beautiful beef with just salt and pepper. That's all. There are a lot of flavors and ingredients inside our ragu, so we don't need to season this with garlic powder, onion, none of that. Just salt and pepper. We've got Himalayan pink salt right here. Really like it. Be generous. Alright, don't be afraid to season this beef nicely. You want to make sure every ingredient is well seasoned on its own, so when it comes together, nothing tastes bland. Okay, it's a nice amount of salt. We're going to turn them around every angle. We're going to get every corner. Little bit of extra virgin olive oil, not too much. That meat on its own is pretty fatty, so you don't need so much oil when you're searing it. Okay, so I'm gonna just check the temperature. It's to be slightly hotter. All right, I'm gonna start to go in with the meat. Okay? The sound I want to hear is a really nice sizzle when I put the meat in. Alright? So I think it's time. Let's see what it sounds like. Exactly what I want to hear. Be careful with that olive oil. Olive oil burns at a lower temperature than something like a canola oil or a sunflower oil. So you got to be really careful with that. And again, we're not going to cook this meat all the way through, right? We're just trying to sear it, get a nice color. This color is flavor. And that's about it. Okay? So you don't need the pan to be smoking. It's not like when you're cooking a steak and you really need the pan to be fully smoking before you put the steak in. Okay, so just gonna move it around a little bit. Move the meat around, and no, it's not ready. Let it sear a little more, give it time. Alright, so once you've got a nice little golden brown color on the meat, kind of like that, you're good to go. Okay, so we're gonna just sear all the other sides as well. We want that same color on every side. Look at that. Look at that sear. That's exactly what you want. We're just gonna sear all the sides, and then we're gonna move on to our vegetables after we're done with all the sides. So we've got a nice little sear on the meat. We're gonna take it right off the fire, okay? Put it in a nice plate like that, and just let it sit on the side. So just let all the meat sit in there, okay? And it's just gonna wait, sit on the side, and look at that. We're gonna get to our next ingredient, which is gonna be all of our vegetables. So I'm gonna use this same pan for the vegetables because all of that fat that's been rendered in there, all of those little bits, those are flavor. So we go in with the vegetables. We got our onion, our carrot, our celery in there. Notice I'm not putting the garlic yet because garlic cooks faster than onion, carrot, and celery, and it's gonna burn much faster than the other ingredients would. So we don't need to sear the garlic at the same time as the rest of them. Just get all of those nice flavors in, okay? And remember what I said about seasoning every ingredient so all the flavors really come together and nothing's kind of bringing the dish down? We're gonna get a little nice pinch of salt in there. Okay, so season at every stage. Nice pinch of salt, little bit of pepper, and then just mix it in. Mix it in nicely. Okay? And we're just gonna let it sear away. Once we get a nice little color on our onions here and our ingredients in the pan, you can see the color on those. We're gonna go ahead and put in our garlic. Okay, I'm gonna put in the garlic. Doesn't need to cook very long with everything else because garlic burns quicker than the rest of the ingredients. As I said earlier, we're gonna control the temperature. This is a little bit too hot right now for the garlic. Gotta be very careful with that. Okay, just stir it in. You see that beautiful color on the carrots, on the celeries, on the onions. In the next minute or so, the garlic's gonna start turning, okay? So you gotta be very quick at this stage and be very careful with your fire and control that temperature. Beautiful. Next, we're gonna put in just a little bit of tomato paste. And guys, this is just for the color, okay? This is not for flavor. Don't go too crazy with that because it doesn't taste too pleasant when it's overpowering everything else, okay? In fact, a lot of times I wouldn't even use tomato paste. but I just want to get a little bit of color in there. Mix it in nicely. Boom. Don't worry if your carrots are hard still. This dish is gonna cook for hours in the oven. They'll be nice and soft by the time you're done. Okay? Once we get all of that tomato paste mixed in, beautiful. Next, we're going to deglaze the pan with our red wine. Again, remember, what kind of red wine are you going to use? The kind that you would drink. If you won't drink it, don't use it in your food. Boom. How much wine am I going to put in? Not too much, just enough to cover the vegetables. And then go ahead and mix it in. That smells fantastic, guys. Wish you could smell that. And turn up the temperature a little bit. Get all those bits and pieces off the pan. It's all flavor. Remember, there are 2 more liquid ingredients in here that are gonna go in. So don't worry if it's too dry right now. Control that temperature. Next, we're gonna go in with our tomatoes. So the tomatoes, you can see, they're big pieces. I'm gonna chop them down a little bit with the scissors. And they're so nice and soft, all right? And straight in. With all those flavors. So once all the tomatoes are broken down in there, and you can see it comes to a little simmer, it's gotten a bit thick, we want to add a little bit of salt. Why? Because tomatoes are, as flavorful as they are, they really suck up all the salt in the dish, right? And yeah, you need to season them. You need to be generous with your seasoning in any tomato heavy dish. All right? Next up, we want to go in with our beef, right back in there, bone down. Okay, just place the beef right in there. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. It's a little bit too low right now. Beef right back in. And then next, we're going to add in our vegetable stock. Guys, I will never add water to any dish I cook. Why? Because water is a void of flavor. What does water taste like? Nothing. You don't want water, you want stock. Okay, how much stock? Just enough to sort of cover the beef, not all the way to the top, because then it's going to become soup, but just to the sides like that. Okay, gonna mix it in a little bit, mix in all that beautiful stock, all that beautiful tomatoes, all the vegetables that are cooked. Okay, bring up the temperature, because the stock is kind of room temperature. It's going to drop the temperature. Cook it a little bit more on the stove to incorporate the stock into your vegetables and tomato mix. Look at that. Will you look at that? All right, so once this mix comes up to a little boil, we want to pour some of it on top of the ribs, okay? Don't worry, I know it looks a little bit watery right now, but remember, this dish is gonna cook in the oven for a good 3 to 4 hours at least, okay? And you're gonna need some liquid in there because it's gonna get pretty dry after that amount of time, okay? So put the mix nicely on top. Next, we're going to add in our aromatics. Remember, we've got thyme, rosemary, and bay leaf. I wish I had a string to string them up together, but I don't. It's okay, you improvise. Right down the middle, and just leave it there, okay? And we're gonna take this beautiful, almost ragu, and put it right in the oven at 200 degrees for 3 to 4 hours. Really depends how much time you have, all right? So let's take it to the oven. Let's go. transferring the meat right into our oven dish, right there. Okay. Hopefully I've got enough space. Looks like I'll be fine. Okay, give it a little bit of space. Perfect, all the meat is in there. Next, we're going to transfer all that beautiful liquid inside. Get all of those flavors going in, guys. Alright, we're gonna go in with our aromatics. So we're gonna put in our aromatics, just spread them around. Don't worry, the flavor is gonna get in there, okay? Because it's gonna be in the oven for a very long time, guys. Alright, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna cover it with aluminum foil. Why? Because we don't want it to get too dry. Later we're gonna remove the bones, put the meat back in there, and then remove the cover, okay? Just cover it with aluminum foil in the oven, 200 degrees, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours, as long as you have time, go for it, okay? The longer you cook it, the better it's gonna taste, all right? I'll see you guys on the other side when we're gonna remove the bones and put the meat back in there. Okay guys, so it's been almost 3 hours in the oven. If you got more time, you can cook it for 3.5, 4 hours. We don't, so we're just gonna take it out now. It should be fall off the bone tender, all right? So let's take a look and see how the ribs are coming along. Just gonna open it. I like to let the heat out because I don't like to burn my face when I go down with that. Ah, it smells fantastic. Whew. Close the oven. I can hear the sizzle. Wow, look at that. Look at there. Oh my God. Wow. So first of all, we want to remove the aromatics. All right, they've done their job. Flavor is already there. You don't need these stems in there anymore. Okay, all coming off. Got bay leaf. Boom. Next. Now this is the exciting part, guys. We're gonna try to see how tender these bad boys are. Or they fall off the bone. Look at that. Take a look at that. It just comes right off. No effort. I was hoping I can lift it up and it falls off, but it's just too tender, guys. This is incredible. So we're just gonna remove all the bones, like the first one. Finger's a bit burned, so there we go. Next. Look at that, it's just coming right off. I don't have to fight it at all. Doesn't get any nicer than that, does it? This one's putting up a little bit of a fight. There we go. And done. Next, we just want to shred the beef. That's what we call fork tender. Look at how easily it all falls apart, guys. It doesn't have to be too fine, okay? Just a rough pulling apart. See that? See how tender that is? Oh my goodness. Okay. Nicely pulled all the beef. We're going back into the oven, 180 degrees. Let me get one of these. It's gonna be in there for maybe 15-20 minutes. Just monitor the meat, make sure it doesn't get too dry. We just want to make sure all the flavors, hello, are incorporated in there, and that's it. I'll see you guys soon after it's ready. Let's go. So here we are in the kitchen. Got boiling hot water. I've added some salt to that water. You want to season the water. You will know why in a couple of seconds, all right? So I'm just gonna take one batch of this beautiful homemade pasta. Just put it into that water, all right? As long as your water is boiling, pasta will not stick, okay? As soon as it kind of gets warmed up a bit, we can start to separate them from each other, and you're okay. I'm gonna increase the temperature a bit more. And these are gonna be quick, guys, because it's a homemade pasta. They cook really fast. Just gonna separate them. Beautiful. There we go, look at that. See, they're not sticking together anymore. They're all separating beautifully. Okay, the pasta is cooking nicely. I'm gonna need some of the pasta water. I'll put that aside for our sauce. Be generous with that. And that is why, guys, we seasoned our pasta water. So important. Alright, just put that aside. We're gonna move forward to making the sauce. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna take some of that sauce, some of that beautiful beef, the ragu, and go right into the pan with it. Okay, if it's too hot, you can take the pan off. Add a bit more beef, not too much, just a bit. We're gonna go in with that pasta sauce. Look at that. And there you have your sauce, guys. You let that render down a little bit, just a bit, not too much. Get it all nicely mixed up together. Turn the temperature way down. If you need a bit more pasta water, go ahead. Don't worry about it. It's all flavor. And that is a sauce, guys. That's a nice sauce right there. All right, next we're gonna drain the pasta. Okay. I need to drain the pasta here. All right, so now the pasta's been drained. I'm gonna add it right into that sauce and give it a little stir. Turn the temperature up just a little bit. The sauce is gonna thicken. Look at that, guys. Look at that bad boy, guys, right there. Mixing all that beautiful beef together with our pasta. And it's gonna be a flavor bomb, guys. All right, and we are ready to assemble. All right, so we're done with our pasta. All there's left to do now is to plate, and I'm so excited, guys, to try this. So I'm just gonna take this pasta, try to put it right in the center. I'm not the best at plating, guys. I'm not a chef. I told you guys, you want to see if somebody's a good chef, you look at the way they plate, you look at the way they chop, their knife techniques, cutting techniques. I have none of those. Okay, I just like to cook food at home. A little bit of beef. All right, a little bit more. It looks pretty all right to me. Next, I'm gonna take some of this beef directly from the oven. Just put it right on the top. Okay. A little bit of Parmesan cheese, just to add that extra nuttiness to it. And of course, my favorite, basil. Beautiful fresh basil, so sweet basil. And we are done. Voila. That is our short rib ragu. Alright, I'm gonna go in for a taste. I'm really excited to try this out, alright? Actually, you know what? I want to call my director today to come over here and taste this with me, because usually he's in front of the camera, but today he's been behind it helping me shoot this thing. Alright, so Kim, would you mind coming in here please real quick? Thank you. Here is a fork for you.
Hey, Reza.
Hey Kim, how you doing?
Good.
Haven't seen you all day.
Yeah, I'm behind the camera shooting you.
Alright, why don't you give it a try? Just take everything in there. Nice, that's a good bite. You know what? I want to try it too. Yeah?
Tastes so good, man.
Really?
The beef is so tender. Sauce. The homemade pasta is not been very cooked. It still feels really crunchy.
Wow. Damn, guys. I don't feel like stopping. Yeah, the homemade pasta, it's got a great texture to it. It's still got a bit of a bite, so it's not like a mush in your mouth. The basil just makes everything fresh. You got that super rich beef short rib in there. Just fantastic explosion of flavors. Guys, try this dish. Seriously, you will not regret making it. Yeah, me too. I want to try a bit more. Wow.
Okay, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and the notification channel button. Okay, sorry. Okay.
He's been behind the camera too long today. He's forgotten how to, you know, say the lines. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've watched until the end, until here. Yeah, I'm really excited to have done this. And don't forget to do all the things you just said to do.
Okay, thank you to Reza.
Thank you to Kim. Bye.
Bye.
It's actually really